Lance is a very beautiful person, a special artist.
I always felt like I just always felt like I never fit anywhere. I'd always known that there was racism in the business, but I always thought that the level of my work would rise above it.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment.
Was Lance Reddick's death a tragic accident, or was it something far more sinister? Why are some of the most powerful names in Hollywood, such as Keanu Reeves, hinting at something more sinister?
Really grateful I had the chance to know him and work with him over almost 10 years.
And why does the Reddick family believe the official cause of death doesn't add up? Could there be a hidden truth about Lance's outspoken nature and the industry's secrets?
I've always known that there was racism in the business, but I always thought that the level of my work would rise above it.
And what about the rise of other Hollywood stars who've spoken out against the system? Was Lance next on the chopping block? Lance Reddick, known for his roles in The Wire, Fringe, and most recently John Wick, tragically passed away in March 2023. But his sudden death is raising questions that refuse to be ignored. According to Lance's family, the official cause of death doesn't align with the life he led. In fact, they claim it's wholly inconsistent with his lifestyle, leading to suspicions that something far more sinister might be at play. Today, we're going to explore the facts surrounding Lance Reddick's death and the possible truth hiding behind Hollywood's most tightly kept secrets. Was his passing planned? And if so, why? And how did his outspoken nature in an industry plagued with systemic issues make him a target?
That was the first time I saw how entrenched and how deep the racism was.
Lance Reddick's unexpected death at 60 stunned fans and colleagues, not just because of his age, but also due to the controversy surrounding the official cause of death. While reports cite heart disease, Reddick's family disputes this, calling it wholly inconsistent with his healthy lifestyle. Known for his discipline and fitness, Reddick's lean, robust appearance and roles requiring physical and mental sharpness make the cause seem questionable to those who knew him. This dispute raises questions about whether external factors or undisclosed conditions played a role, or if something darker lurks behind the official narrative. Hollywood has seen its share of mysterious celebrity deaths, and Reddick's case joins a list that includes Marilyn Monroe and Heath Ledger, leaving fans seeking answers. Beyond his talent, Reddick was a vocal critic of systemic racism in Hollywood. He often spoke about being pigeonholed into stereotypical roles, such as the stoic black commander, highlighting the tokenism black actors face. For Reddick, such roles failed to match his depth and versatility, exposing Hollywood's persistent barriers. These characters are typically underdeveloped, existing solely to check a box rather than contribute meaningfully to the story. For an actor of Reddick's caliber, this was not only frustrating, but also indicative of the barriers still firmly in place for black talent in Hollywood. Despite these challenges, Reddick described his career as charmed in comparison to others, acknowledging that he had achieved a level of success that many of his peers had not. Even so, his awareness of systemic issues within the industry remained acute, and he never hesitated to address them publicly.
Met this a black manager at I don't want to say who he is, but at a very prominent management firm, and he was considering working with me. And we were talking about The Wire, and he said, I don't understand what it is. I cannot get my white colleagues to watch that show.
Reddick's willingness to critique Hollywood's shortcomings did not come without risk. In an industry where silence is often rewarded and dissent can lead to blacklisting, his outspoken nature set him apart. Many black entertainers who have dared to challenge the status quo have faced significant backlash, from losing roles to being labeled as difficult or uncooperative. Reddick's criticisms, while measured and respectful, still carried weight and may have drawn the ire of powerful figures within the entertainment world. The question then arises, could Reddick's forthrightness have made him a target? His comments about tokenism and stereotyping were not just critiques, but calls for systemic change. In an environment where maintaining the status quo benefits those in power, voices like Reddick's are often seen as threats rather than assets.
Even after Fringe, I remember there was Fringe ended 2013 was the last season aired. That pilot season, it was like there was literally nothing for me.
Historically, Hollywood has struggled with individuals who refuse to conform. Many outspoken actors, particularly those from marginalized communities, have found themselves facing obstacles that seem disproportionate to their actions. Whether through loss of opportunities, negative press, or outright exclusion, the entertainment industry has a track record of silencing dissenting voices. Reddick's career, while undeniably successful, may have been hindered by his refusal to accept the limitations imposed on him by the industry. What set Lance Reddick apart was his authenticity. He approached his craft with a level of dedication and integrity that earned him the respect of colleagues and fans alike. This same integrity extended to his views on the entertainment industry, which he expressed with honesty and without fear. For Reddick, it wasn't enough to succeed in his own career. He also wanted to see systemic changes that would benefit future generations of Black actors. His critiques of Hollywood were not born out of bitterness, but out of a desire to see the industry live up to its potential. He envisioned a world where Black actors could thrive without being boxed into narrow stereotypes or reduced to token roles. Reddick's voice was one of authenticity and integrity, and that's something the industry hasn't always been comfortable with. In an environment where criticism of systemic racism is often swept under the rug, Lance's outspokenness made him stand out, not just as an actor, but as someone who challenged the status quo. Could that have made him a target? Keanu Reeves, Reddick's co-star in the John Wick franchise, was deeply affected by his passing.
Really grateful I had the chance to know him and work with him over almost 10 years.
Before Reddick's untimely passing in March 2023, Reeves had penned a letter to him, honoring his role as Charon, the unflappable concierge of the Continental. In Reeves' words, "People love John Wick because Charon loves John Wick." This simple yet powerful sentiment encapsulated the importance of Reddick's character in making the titular assassin more relatable to audiences. Reeves's tribute, both in the letter and in later comments, highlighted not only the significance of Charon in the John Wick universe, but also the deep affection and respect the two actors shared for one another.
Lance is a very beautiful person, a special artist.
Reddick's portrayal of Charon brought an air of dignity and calm to a franchise defined by chaos and high-octane violence. Charon, with his unwavering professionalism and subtle warmth, served as a grounding force in the otherwise fantastical world of John Wick. Reeves recalled how their characters' on-screen relationship mirrored their off-screen dynamic, saying, "The characters had such an affection, and off-screen, we had such an affection." It was clear that their bond extended beyond the script, growing stronger over the course of 8 years and 4 films. Reeves spoke fondly of Reddick's humor, passion for his craft, and the joy he brought to their collaboration on set, describing their work on the series as a once-in-a-lifetime project. Reddick's character, Charon, was more than just a supporting role. He was a symbol of order amidst the chaos of the John Wick universe. His calm demeanor, paired with his fierce loyalty to the hotel's manager, Winston, played by Ian McShane, and his quiet yet impactful bond with John Wick, made Charon a standout character. Reeves reflected on this dynamic, sharing, "I once told him in the letter that Charon's love for John Wick made John Wick okay. It gave him humanity. It made him someone people could root for, even in his most brutal moments." Reddick's performance was marked by a stoic grace that balanced the franchise's high-energy action sequences. His ability to convey depth with just a glance or a subtle change in tone made Charon unforgettable. Reeves often found himself in awe of Reddick's talent, noting, "He had such a passion and a fire for creativity and for his craft and for art." This passion was evident in every scene Reddick inhabited, where his meticulous attention to detail and his ability to bring a quiet intensity to his character elevated the entire film series. The John Wick franchise, which first premiered in 2014, quickly became a global phenomenon, and much of its success can be attributed to the chemistry between its cast. While Keanu Reeves' portrayal of the titular character anchored the series, it was the supporting characters like Charon that added depth and nuance to the story. Charon's loyalty to Wick, even in the face of impossible odds, resonated with audiences and added an emotional layer to the films. Reeves, reflecting on their time together, said, "When I got to act with him, we had such an affection. I loved our scenes. They felt real, meaningful, and they always left an impression. Reddick's influence on the franchise extended beyond his scenes with Reeves. His portrayal of Charon helped establish the world of John Wick as a place where rules and relationships mattered, even in the midst of relentless violence. The Continental, with its aura of old-world sophistication and unshakable codes of honor, felt all the more real because of Reddick's commanding presence. Charon's adherence to the rules, coupled with his understated displays of loyalty, made the character an essential part of the series' success. Reeves' tribute to Reddick also shed light on their shared understanding of the unique nature of the John Wick films. "We both knew this was something special," Reeves said. "It wasn't just another action movie. It had heart, and a lot of that heart came from characters like Charon and actors like Lance who brought them to life." This acknowledgement underscores the lasting impact Reddick had on the franchise and on Reeves himself, both as an actor and as a person. Reddick's passing has left a void in the John Wick universe, but his contributions to the franchise will continue to resonate with audiences for years to come. His ability to make Charon both formidable and compassionate brought a unique energy to the series, and his on-screen dynamic with Reeves created moments of genuine emotional connection amidst the relentless action. For Reeves, those moments are among his most cherished memories of their time together. "It wasn't just acting," he said, "it was something deeper, and I'll carry that with me always." As the world remembers Lance Reddick for his many iconic roles, including his work in The Wire, Fringe, and Bosch, it is his portrayal of Charon that stands as one of his most beloved performances.
The American black people recognize me from The Wire. The African black people recognize me from John Wick. And the South African white people didn't know I was.
Through his craft, Reddick brought humanity, grace, and depth to a role that could have been overshadowed by the larger-than-life action surrounding it. Thanks to his talent and dedication, Charon remains a vital part of what makes John Wick so special. As Keanu Reeves so eloquently put it, he made us believe in this world. He made us care, and that's a gift that will never fade. Reddick's death left Keanu and many others in the John Wick family shaken, and some are wondering, was Reddick's target status in Hollywood tied to his refusal to conform? Many actors and musicians have spoken out about the racist and controlling nature of Hollywood. Names like Ice Cube, Dave Chappelle, and MoNique have all been vocal about the industry's manipulation and exploitation, particularly when it comes to black artists. Could Reddick have found himself on the wrong side of Hollywood's power structure? Terence Howard, in particular, has spoken extensively about how the industry F's up many black actors at the top. In the mid-2000s, Terence Howard was riding high, delivering powerhouse performances in films like Hustle and Flow and Crash. Hollywood recognized his immense talent, and Marvel Studios offered him a groundbreaking deal, reportedly between $3.5 million and $4.5 million, to portray Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes in Iron Man. Not only was Howard the first actor signed for the film, but he was also the highest-paid star on the project, earning more than Robert Downey Jr., whose career was just starting its revival. It seemed like Howard's star was set to soar even higher.
Gut feeling that this movie was going to be really transformative?
No, check this out. I made $12,000 for doing Hustle and Flow.
Howard's collaboration with Marvel initially appeared to be a dream. The studio even dangled an additional $5 million payday for Iron Man 2, promising that his role as War Machine would expand in the sequel. Yet despite the success of the first film, Marvel unceremoniously cut Howard from the franchise. The industry rumors began swirling and the blame game started. Was it his attitude, his acting, or something far darker behind the scenes? The closing scene of Iron Man set up Howard's character's transformation into War Machine, with Rhodey gazing at the silver suit and teasing fans with the iconic line, "Next time, baby." But Howard's next time never came. Instead, Marvel replaced him with Don Cheadle for Iron Man 2. The official reasons? Whispers of creative disagreements, director Jon Favreau's dissatisfaction with Howard's performance, and alleged tension on set. The unofficial story, however, paints a picture of how the industry turned its back on Howard when it mattered most.
You know, I was mentioning in your intro, the fact that, like, this whole thing started with, I remember when you were working on that Iron Man movie, and when you had the drawing.
Reports claim that Howard had a reputation for being difficult on set, which led to conflicts during the production of Iron Man. Director Jon Favreau allegedly requested multiple reshoots of Howard's scenes, and his dissatisfaction with Howard's portrayal of Rhodey became well known. But Howard believed there was more at play, something that had nothing to do with his acting skills or work ethic. When negotiations began for Iron Man 2, Howard was blindsided. Despite having a 3-picture deal with Marvel, the studio allegedly offered him only $1 million for the sequel, a drastic pay cut from his initial salary. Howard described it as the surprise of a lifetime. He was left with no choice but to walk away. In a 2015 interview with Rolling Stone, Howard alleged, "And guess who got the millions I was supposed to get? Robert Downey Jr. Got the whole franchise." Marvel wasted no time replacing him. Even before Howard officially exited, the studio reportedly began courting Don Cheadle to take over the role. Interestingly, Cheadle was a contender for Rhodey from the start, with initial discussions happening during pre-production for the first Iron Man. "Some people wanted Terence, some people wanted me," Cheadle told MTV News. Howard later acknowledged this, stating, "They wanted Don in that role initially, but my agent pushed me in." Despite this history, Howard made it clear he held no grudge against Cheadle. Howard's exit from Iron Man left a sour taste in his mouth, not just because of the pay cut, but because of what he perceived as betrayal. In interviews, Howard revealed he reached out to Robert Downey Jr., whom he claimed to have helped secure the role of Tony Stark, for support. But Downey, according to Howard, ghosted him. "I called my friend that I helped get the first job, and he didn't call me back for 3 months," Howard recalled on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live. The betrayal stung deeply. Howard claimed that Marvel Studios essentially told him, "We think the second one will be successful with or without you," signaling how easily he was replaced in their eyes. His frustration wasn't just about the money, though he described losing out on millions, but about the erasure of his contributions. "I gave them the franchise," Howard said. "I made sure Robert got the job, and this is how they repaid me." Howard's departure marked a turning point in his career. While he continued to land roles in high-profile projects, he often spoke about how Hollywood had turned against him after Iron Man. He became an example of how the industry discards even its brightest stars when they're no longer deemed essential. The role of War Machine, which Howard once dreamed would launch its own standalone franchise, became a symbol of what could have been. Howard's bitterness about the ordeal occasionally surfaced in interviews. During a Rolling Stone interview, he didn't mince words. "I've given Robert Downey Jr. $100 million, that's what it cost me." But Howard never fully blamed Downey, even as he acknowledged the shift in their relationship. "I love Robert," he said, "but Hollywood is a machine, and it's not built to care about people like me." Now, another person who was basically chewed out by the industry is MoNique. MoNique's comments came in May 2017 during an appearance at the Apollo Theater in Los Angeles, several years after she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role in 2009 movie Precious. After that win, MoNique claimed she felt the entertainment industry had given her a raw deal, including passing her up on jobs, and that Daniels, who directed Precious, later told her that she'd been blackballed after she refused to campaign for the movie during parts of the 2010 awards season. She did that because she felt she was not being fairly treated by being asked to promote the show overseas without being compensated. She told The Hollywood Reporter in 2015.
That's when he said, "Mama, you've been blackballed." And I said, "Well, why have I been blackballed?" And he said, "Because you didn't play the game." And I said, "What game is that?" And he was never able to answer that question.
In the 2017 Apollo Theater performance, MoNique also accused Oprah and Tyler Perry of having a role in the blackballing. She told the audience in an expletive-ridden monologue, "I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry. Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey." And then there is Taraji P. Henson. The drama unfolded during a press tour where Henson, embodying the character of Shug Avery in the film The Color Purple, laid bare the harsh truths of her Hollywood journey. The revelation that sent shockwaves through Tinseltown came when she made a teary-eyed appearance on Gayle King's Sirius XM show.
"I'm just tired of working so hard, getting paid a fraction. You get tired. I hear people go, 'You work a lot.' Well, have to. The math ain't mathin'. Big bills come with what we do. When you hear someone saying, 'Oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that didn't make it to their account.'"
The plot thickened as Henson went beyond the paycheck predicament. Surprisingly, the seasoned actress found herself auditioning for the role of Shug Avery, despite the director, Blitz Bazawule, having her in mind for the part. It was a bitter pill for an Oscar-nominated talent to swallow, an indignity that cut deep into the very fabric of her years-long battle to secure her deserved place in the industry. For Henson, the audition debacle was more than a minor setback. It was symbolic of her enduring struggle to climb the Hollywood ladder. Despite accolades for her roles in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Emmy nominations for her powerhouse performance as Cookie in Empire, and the acclaimed turn in Hidden Figures, Henson contends that she, along with other Black actresses, remains tethered to a lower rung, deprived of the prestige and financial rewards showered upon counterparts in similar positions. In a candid moment, Henson bared her frustrations, challenging the industry's complacency. She said, "Listen, I've been doing this for 2 decades, and sometimes I get tired of fighting because I know what I do is bigger than me. I know that the legacy I leave will affect somebody coming up behind me. My prayer is that I don't want these Black girls to have the same fights that me and Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, we out here thugging it out."
Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Color Purple director Blitz Bazawule added fuel to the fire by supporting Henson's claims of injustice. According to Bazawule, the casting process for the film, despite featuring award-winning actors and Broadway veterans, demanded auditions. "Knowing how hard they fought to not have you all here and knowing how hard we had to fight to ensure that," he said, "the fact that each one of you, every single one of you, had to audition for this role, roles that were second nature for you, roles that no one should even question." At a career retrospective hosted by the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, Henson expanded her thoughts and revealed that the pay issue nearly led to her not starring in The Color Purple. "I'm really tired of Black women having the same story," she said.
Every time you achieve something really incredible, it's almost like the industry looks at it as a fluke. Like, oh, that was like some one-time thing. You gotta negotiate and fight tooth and nail to get what you made the last time. Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary.
She then went on to speak about how her activism will benefit the female Black actors that come after her.
Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this?
The fact that Henson had chosen promotions for The Color Purple to air out these issues had those watching convinced it was a pointed complaint towards the film's producers, particularly Winfrey. Anyway, in an industry where the powerful few hold all the leverage, it's not surprising that some believe Reddick's independent stance could have made him a target. Reddick's refusal to play into Hollywood's toxic dynamics might have been seen as a threat to those in control. Just like countless other Black artists who've stood their ground, Lance might have been labeled a troublemaker, someone who needed to be silenced. Lance Reddick's death is a tragic event, but it's one that fits into a broader narrative, one that involves systemic racism, control, and exploitation within Hollywood. His passing raises more questions than answers, and with the family disputing the official cause of death, it's clear that there are many who believe this story doesn't end here. As we continue to explore the deeper implications of Reddick's life and death, one thing becomes clear: he was more than just an actor. He was a voice for change, a figure who wasn't afraid to speak out against the injustices he saw within the industry. Was Lance Reddick targeted because of his refusal to conform? Was his death orchestrated as part of a larger pattern of silencing outspoken Black voices in Hollywood? That we might never know. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.